kid's mom packed him beef jerky in his lunch every single Friday. One morning, she throws some beef jerky in a Ziploc bag for him. Pretty normal. Well, he's sitting down for lunch and one of his friends knows he has beef jerky. His friend asks, "Hey man, can I get you beef jerky today?" "Sure bro, here." He trades the beef jerky for a bag of chips. Now he's sitting there eating his chips while his buddy is munching on the beef jerky. He's scarfing it down. That's when his mom texts him. The text says, "Do not eat the beef jerky. I accidentally put dog food in the bag." Oh God, no. Now he's taking a look at his friend who's eating this and he's like, "Yeah, that looks like dog treats." At first he's like, "I'm not gonna say anything," but that's his friend. He has to, so he does. "Hey, bro, my mom just texted me. She accidentally packed me dog treats." "You're eating dog food?" "What? What do you mean?" "They're not bad, man. I'm gonna keep eating them." All right, bro. Kid just keeps eating the dog food. He liked him so much, he even asked this kid to have his mom pack him the same stuff for the next Friday. That kid is nuts. Every Saturday, this kid went to his little brother's baseball games. "Come on, Franklin!" And every Saturday, the same thing would happen. All the bleachers would be filled, and parents are arriving. They get to the lawn, and then they realize, "Aw, man, I forgot the chairs!" Now, the game's about to start, so they have two options. Stand there for the entirety of the game, or sit in the grass. Well, like I said, after watching this happen every weekend, this kid gets a brilliant idea. He goes on Facebook Marketplace and buys 10 folding chairs for almost nothing. Loads them into a little wagon, shows up to the field before the first game starts, and then he waits. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, "Dang it, I forgot the chairs at home." He walks over. "I got a couple you can use." The parents look relieved. "Oh, thank you so much. $5 a chair. Not to buy it, to rent it. For the game only." The parent doesn't even think about it. "Yes, $5 a chair. You got yourself a deal." Now he's sitting comfy, watching his kids suck at baseball. Other people at the game realize this, see what's going on, and he rents out every chair. And this happens every weekend. He wrote numbers in the back of the chairs so he knows which ones he lent out. Eventually, he has 20 chairs, and then he expanded his business by bringing in snacks that he was selling for cheaper than the concession stand. The kid was a genius, and the parents had a place to sit. There was a kid whose family owned a capybara, and one day, him and his parents got permission to bring this animal into class. Everybody figured it would stay for about an hour. Instead, this thing spent the entire day wandering around campus with this kid. "Everybody meet Gerald." Teachers loved it, the principal loved it, the students loved it, and by lunch it had become the most popular student in the school. Well, that day was the day that student elections were happening, and somebody thought it would be funny to quickly make a bunch of posters. "Vote Gerald the capybara for class president." The teachers and the principal thought that nobody would take this seriously, but then people started writing his name on the ballots. Gerald. A lot of kids did this. Teachers started hearing people talk about it in the hallways. "Who are you voting for?" "Gerald has my vote." Well, election day comes. Votes get counted. And somehow the capybara wins by a lot of votes. The principal had to stand in front of the school and explain that unfortunately the class president has to be a student. So the student with the next most votes won, and they anointed the capybara as vice president. "Way to go, Gerald!" This teacher confiscated this one kid's phone during class one day. She walked over, took it, and set it on the corner of her desk. About 20 minutes later, while everybody was working quietly, the teacher stepped out of the room for a second, and the kid saw his chance. He walked up to the front of the classroom like he was throwing away a piece of paper. He secretly grabbed his phone and put it in his hoodie. He then sat down before the teacher came back. A few minutes later, the teacher comes back into the room, looks at her desk, and kind of freezes. She's checking her desk, looking around, lifting up papers, opens every single drawer. Finally, she looks up and says, "Okay, has anybody seen Kyle's phone that I took? It was right here." Oh no, the whole class started looking, even the kid. What? "You just took it, ma'am." Everybody was looking under desks, checking behind the bookshelf. At the end of class, they had all finally given up. He acted very sad that his phone was missing. You see, there were no cameras in the classroom. The next day, the teacher came to school with a check written to this kid's parents to buy a new one. And that, my friends, is what I call an evil genius. This kid had a problem growing up. His little brother was the problem, because every single time something got broken, or something disappeared, or there was a huge mess,
It was him! I didn't do it!
what? And it didn't matter what the situation was. The mom would always yell at the older brother. Mom, I didn't do it.
I don't care. Shut up.
He was constantly getting grounded. After the 10th time, this kid goes to Walgreens and he buys a disposable camera. From that day on, it never leaves his pocket. Anytime he sees his little brother doing something that he knows he's gonna blame him for, he snaps a picture.
Coloring on the walls.
Later, who colored on the walls?
It was him!
But he wouldn't say anything just yet. He saves up these moments for weeks. He even takes the grounding until one day he goes to Walgreens again and he drops off the camera to develop the photos. When he gets them back, he sits his mom down at the table. Mom, I want to show you something. What? You know every single thing that my brother blamed me for, that you grounded me for? Blamed you because you did it. Oh yeah? Well, look at this. That's the vase. There he is. He broke it. That's him with a crayon drawing on the wall. That's him hiding the remote in the bathtub. Cold, hard evidence right there in her face. And you know what she does? She grounds him for disrespect. Guess it doesn't matter what you do. Your mom doesn't like you. That's that. There was a kid at this school that got famous for designing lockers. Every weekend, he would go to Five Below, Dollar Tree, or Walmart. He would buy tiny mirrors, magnetic shelves, fake plants, LED light strips, mini rugs, wallpaper, anything that would look cool in a locker. Then his classmates would hire him to completely redesign the inside of their locker. Before he touched anything, he had a series of questions. Do you want modern or a vintage look? You like sports? You want it minimalist? You have a favorite comic book character? What's your favorite color? He would then sketch the layout first in a notebook. Then, that night, he would go through all the stuff that he would have from Five Below, Dollar Tree, Walmart, and he would get together what he needed. Now, he only worked on the weekends. You see, his mom worked at the school, and there were events that would happen at the school during the weekends, so he was allowed to go in. And that's when he would design their locker. By Monday, the kids would come in, go to their locker, and it was completely redone. Beautiful. It wasn't free at all. You had to pay him money, 20, sometimes 50 bucks, depending on what you wanted. This business was so respected and well known, some parents would even contact him to surprise their kids with a redesigned locker. One year, the school held a best decorated locker contest, and he didn't enter, but out of the top 10 lockers, he designed 8 of them. What a legend! You gotta respect the hustle. This music teacher always smelled like strong perfume. Nasty. You could smell her before she even walked into the room. She wore so much perfume that it basically arrived before she did, and the students absolutely hated it. One day, a few kids are hanging out in the music room. The teacher isn't there yet. One girl opens the teacher's desk drawer. Guys, I found her perfume bottle. So she puts it on. Everyone starts laughing. You guys, I smell like Mrs. Stevens. A couple minutes later, the teacher walks in. She stops in her tracks and takes one sniff. Now, everybody thinks she's gonna be mad because the kids put on her perfume. So she's walking around, she's sniffing the air, she's looking at people. And then she says, whoever's wearing that perfume, don't buy it again. It smells horrible. All right, class. Then she walks over to the desk, opens her drawer, pulls out her perfume bottle, the one that she was smelling, and she puts it on. And everybody starts laughing because she wore it every day. And she couldn't even tell that somebody else was wearing her perfume. But she too thought it was horrible. Wow. This kid brought a homemade lunch to school every single day. His mom would wake up early in the morning and make him something special. One afternoon, he opens up his lunch container in the cafeteria. A teacher walks by, catches a smell, and says, "What is that?" "Oh, it's my lunch. He tries to explain. "That smells awful. Looks disgusting too. Throw it away." He assumed that she was joking or something, but she points to the garbage can. Now! The whole table is staring. This kid is super embarrassed. So he takes his lunch and he walks over and he just dumps it into the trash. And just as he's sitting back down, another teacher who had saw this whole thing happen asks the kid what he threw away. He tells her. Apparently, it was a cultural dish that his mom made for him. That food is from his culture. That's something that they eat. And you made him throw it away? It's not school appropriate. Yes, it is. It's just not familiar to you. That teacher was so mad. She went to the principal's office. She had a meeting with the principal and the school admins. And the teacher that made him throw his lunch away was fired. Because yeah, that's absolutely horrible. People have different foods. Cultures make different stuff. What a cruel, cruel woman.